Hello friends, I wanted to show you look how so foggy it is at the salt marsh. This is winter weather here in this part of California, and it's just very, very foggy a lot, and it's chilly, cold, but not as cold as, of course, other places where it's much colder. But I wanted to, celebrate with you because we're coming up on the solstice. And what is the solstice? Okay, the solstice in December in the Northern Hemisphere essentially marks the end of the solar year, with also the 3 days of darkness after it. And so it's so fascinating because, here's how it works. Okay, December 21st is the solstice. Then there's 3 days of darkness. 1, 2, 3, 22, 3, 4. December 25th is the return of the light. So what does that mean in terms of the sun, the sky, and the seasons? So the solstice is the 1 minute, right? You go 1 minute down to the lowest amount of light that there is. It's the day right before you switch to the lowest amount of light. Okay, and then the 3 days of darkness are the lowest amount of light visible in the Northern Hemisphere for your location for the entire year. So I think where I'm at, we're down to 9 hours and 32 minutes of light instead of 9:33. Okay, that went down to 9:32. It's 9:32 actually only for 2 days here, and then it goes up to 9:33. So we have technically already had the solstice here, you see, because it depends on your latitude and longitude. So when you get the 1 extra minute of daylight, technically that is the new solar year. When the light shines again, the light returns after the 3 days of darkness. Now check this out. The solstice, which marks, right before we go into 3 days of darkness, is on the 21st, and the return of the light is on the 25th. And what is the 25th? Christmas. The birth of Jesus, the initiation of the light onto the earth. Okay, so all of this, it just is all it's all tied together. It all flows in a beautiful harmony and a beautiful story. But what that also means is that technically December 25th, but it changes depending on where you are in the country, is the first day of the new year. It's the first day of the solar year. So the solar year is solstice to winter solstice to, just after the winter solstice to just after the winter solstice, okay? For the point of this conversation, we'll say the fifth day after, right? 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, fourth day after, okay, the winter solstice. And then in the Southern Hemisphere, you just, reverse that to the summer, since you have your first, your solar year would begin in the summer. But here's what I want to say. It's fascinating because depending on your location, it'll vary by, days. And in previous years, it's really interesting that the length of the darkness was much longer. There's been recent years where I've looked at this and there was 9 days of darkness in different locations, 6 days. And the fascinating thing is we're down to 2 days, at least where I'm located. And I've got to tell you something. Yesterday was one of those days, and it's like the initiation of the solstice and then the move into the darkest part of the year, anticipating the coming of the light. It has just been, the energy has majorly shifted. You can think of the days of darkness between the solstice and Christmas as release, as a time of release, to just like fully let go of what was before and start anew with the solar year, year of the sun, right? That's a sun-based year. Now, here's the thing, okay? As you might notice, in the Northern Hemisphere, the solar year is in winter, okay? Notice how there's not, there's not like, it's not spring out here, okay? But here's the thing. The seeds are under the ground gestating, right? The dreams of what is to come are cooking deep in the earth where it's still warmer than it is up here and on the surface. And so this is why New Year's resolutions don't work, okay? Because this is the time for dreaming on the seeds. Like, think about it this way, okay? When a woman gets pregnant, she didn't have the baby 3 days or 4 days later. Excuse me. There's a gestation of 9 months in that case. There's a gestation time before birth happens. So basically, the initiation of the Lunar New Year, which is in 2025, I believe it's March 29th in the west coast of the USA. The initiation of the Lunar New Year initiates doing. And think about it this way. The moon is about embodiment, right? And a lot of people think about the moon as just, okay, that's my emotions. But most people are driven by emotions. Most people's embodiment is really, about their emotions. But here's the thing. When we bring consciousness to the embodiment, to our lives, okay, and we embody the fullness of what we are, the moon, okay? The moon at Earth, the soul in a body at Earth, on Earth. And so, I don't know, that's pretty awesome, right? So it makes sense that the lunar year in the spring in the Northern Hemisphere is the initiation. It's where stuff starts to grow. It's where you initiate projects. So here's the deal. If you have a project that you want to start, this is not the time. This is the time to dream on it, to put things in place, okay? So like for me, I'm so excited. I'm getting a new internet and I'm getting a new internet and that's gonna get all set up, and then I have to redo a bunch of things, okay, about I need to line my ducks up, okay? And I'm taking baby step, baby step, baby step. It's not what I want. I want everything to be done, but we live on Earth, and you have to like put physical work into things. And spiritual people sometimes need a reminder about that. And the physical takes time. It takes 9 months for a baby to gestate. This is just how it is. So enjoy. Enjoy the shift in seasons. And God bless you. Happy solstice. Merry Christmas. And Happy New Year, new solar year. Much love.